With my own hands, I gouged out both my eyes and gave them to Lyra, just to keep her alive. But after she became a sovereign emperor, she joined forces with 9 other sovereign emperors to seal me inside the Samsara seal, slowly refining me to death. But just before I perish, the Samsara seal projects every memory of my life for all to see. Every member of the Righteous Alliance surrounds the Samsara seal, even though I am sealed inside, until they watch me completely disappear with their own eyes. Every single one of them is on edge. After all, I am the only sovereign emperor-level cultivator in the world. Then a man steps forward and declares, the Samsara seal is an eternal divine artifact. 3 days is all it needs to refine him completely. This man is Varen of the Righteous Alliance. It was his sneak attack that sealed Kai inside. As Varen speaks, Kai's form slowly fades, then vanishes entirely from the seal. Panic erupts. What is happening? Could it be that even an eternal divine artifact cannot hold Kai? While everyone else panics, Varen simply smiles. There is nothing to worry about. When the Samsara seal refines someone, it projects the full story of their life. What we are seeing is simply Kai's past. In fact, this proves that Kai is being refined as we speak. At those words, everyone breathes again. Meanwhile, I have just arrived in this body. I thought that, as the sovereign emperor, I could live freely across this world. But after merging every memory fragment, I am struck dumb. I have been sealed inside the Samsara seal by the Righteous Alliance, led by the Chosen One himself. 3 days, and my body and soul will be destroyed. This is the worst opening possible. My only move is to alter the merged memories and find a way to break free. Outside the Samsara seal, Varen speaks with unhurried ease. Why not use this chance to see every filthy thing Kai has ever done? The suggestion wins wide approval. But in the crowd, Empress Lyra turns to leave. She plans to return only when the 3 days are up. Her name is Lyra, Kai's adopted sister. Varen sees this and smiles coolly. Empress Lyra, you above all others should stay. Only by facing the nightmare inside can a cultivator grow stronger. The Empress consort flees to Lyra's side. Stay and watch. I will watch with you. Varen makes a fair point. This nightmare has followed Us for too long. It is time to face it. Varen's burning gaze locks onto the 2 women, then sweeps across the other empresses. He never even had the nerve to look at them before. But now Kai is sealed. Once the Samsara seal finishes its work, I will become the new sovereign emperor and take all 9 empresses as my consorts. Inside the seal, I feel despair closing in. No matter how powerful I am, I cannot shatter the Samsara seal from within. So my gaze settles on the 9 empresses in the hall. Every one of them was once closest to me. Only if I can bring them back to my side and have them shatter the seal from outside can I go free. The seal shows the past, so I plan to tweak that past, then project the altered version on the seal's surface. Having grown up reading dark romance novels, if I cannot move all 10 empresses to tears and make them beg for my forgiveness, I will write my name backwards. Still, the changes cannot be too outrageous. Subtle adjustments are enough. My eyes finally land in Lyra. She is Kai's adopted sister, the first person who ever knew him. And because her early childhood memories are likely blurry and incomplete, it will be easier to pull Lyra back to my side. Then, a scene takes shape on the Samsara seal before the entire hall. The image shows a peaceful little fishing village. A family of 3 sits around a rough wooden table, sharing a meal. The father is a broad and hearty middle-aged man. The mother is a gentle, soft-spoken woman. Her belly is round and heavy. She is clearly pregnant. And the 5-year-old boy beside her, that is Kai as a child. Watching the scene, Lyra murmurs, "Those are my parents." She has had no memory of them since birth. "Son, your mother is almost due. Do you want a little brother or a little sister?" "I want a little sister. The boy next door always brags about how sweet and well-behaved his sister is, so I want one too. I have read so many books in town. I have already picked a name. I will call her Lyra." The entire hall is stunned. No one expected that Empress Lyra's name was chosen by Kai himself. The moment Lyra realizes this, she begins to loathe her own name. After breakfast, I go out with my father. With practiced skill, he catches 5 eels. I carry a few into town and sell them for a few copper coins, then head straight to the bookshop I have been longing to visit. Over the past year, I have learned a great deal, including the existence of the cultivation world. It is said that powerful cultivators can even ride their swords through the sky. In one rare book, I discover the twin pupils and the supreme bone. Legend says those who possess the twin pupils will become invincible. A flicker of pain crosses Lyra's eyes. Just for the sake of future invincibility, could you really bring yourself to steal my twin pupils? The young Kai must have learned about the twin pupils here and planted the seeds of greed. He later took Lyra's twin pupils. As the sun sets, I finish reading and head home in high spirits. But the moment I reach the village, I freeze. Bodies are scattered everywhere. Even the lake has turned red. When I reach our home, despair hits me like a crushing wave. Both my parents lie motionless on the ground. The child in my mother's womb never even drew its first breath. The Righteous Alliance erupts. This makes no sense. If Lyra was never born, then who is standing before us as Empress Lyra right now? Everyone's mind is spinning. Lyra herself stands frozen, lost in thought. In the vision, I sob until my voice gives out. Just this morning, everything was fine. I had even chosen her name. Now it all feels like another lifetime. "Run!" My father forces his eyes open, spending every last drop of strength to push out a few words. "Beware, the palace of Yama." Then he goes still. I do not run. I kneel before my parents and bow my head to the ground 3 times. Then, I search the village for any survivors. Watching the brutal scene unfold, the Sword Empress seethes inwardly. "You suffered the same pain of watching your entire village slaughtered. So why did you let her do the same to my people, the Sword Clan? Once I confirm no one else is left alive, I grab the only food in the house and droon desperately into the mountains. The deep forest is full of deadly beasts. Even grown adults dare not enter. But drawing on every hunting trip I took with my father, I push through the thorns and stay hidden for 3 days and 3 nights. By the end, my tears have all dried up, and what flows from my eyes is blood. When my food runs out, I head to town, planning to hide and bide my time until I can take revenge. But the entire town has been massacred too. The bodies look exactly like my parents. And it is not just the town. The surrounding villages have all suffered the same fate. I return to my village, build graves for my parents, bow my head one last time, and leave without delay. Something is wrong with this place. It seems to be under the effect of some Tao technique. The food is withering and shrinking, becoming inedible. I take my father's bow and arrow sand, head toward the distant mountains. When thirsty, I pick wild fruit. When hungry, I hunt to fill my stomach. At first, my aim is clumsy, but I find my rhythm soon enough. When I finally cross to the other side of the mountain forest, I come face to face with a massive white tiger. Given the size difference, I am simply no match for it. After a desperate struggle, I collapse, completely spent. The tiger lunges, jaws wide. As my vision blurs, one fierce thought rises through the haze. I must survive. Driven by that burning will, the pupil of my left eye splits in two. A surge of overwhelming pressure explodes from my body. The twin pupils awaken. The entire Rightius alliance erupts again. No one expected that Kai originally had only one twin pupil. The twin pupils alone are already the path to invincibility. Lyra loses her voice and asks herself, you already had the twin pupils, so why did you need to steal mine? Varen steps forward again, to twist the narrative. Pay attention, everyone. He only had one pupil awakened, not both. He must have discovered that Empress Lyra had one twin pupil awakened and set his sights on taking it, just to complete the pair and become unstoppable. With the twin pupils active, I find Thediger's movement slowing to a crawl. A simple roll lets me dodge its strike. I don't yet understand that this is the power of my awakened twin pupils. Soon its next lunge, I slide under its paws and my chopper drives straight into its belly, tearing a long gash across its stomach. The tiger lets out one final roar and goes silent. Afterward, I walk to the lake and wash off the blood. In the reflection of the water, I see my left eye, the split pupil staring back at me. Only then do I understand. I have awakened the twin pupils from that ancient book. Tears of joy pour down my face. Father, mother, your deaths can finally be avenged. In the days that follow, I fashion a coat from the white tiger's pelt and dry its meat to eat. Then one night, I hear voices, and duck into the shadows to watch a man and a woman hurry past carrying something bundled in cloth. Barely make out their words. Leave this worthless girl here. Let her fend for herself. Come on, hurry, what rotten luck. They set down the bundle and vanish into the dark. The night is too black for me to make out their faces, but I see the baby girl inside the bundle perfectly clearly. She bursts into wailing cries. I rush over and scoop her up, and the moment I hold her, she stops crying instantly. She blinks up at me and breaks into a bright, gummy grin. I cannot understand why her parents would throw her away, but she starts crying again. Then I remember something the adults always said. A fed baby does not cry, but out here in the middle of nowhere, where am I supposed to find milk? So I steel myself, bite down hard on my own finger, and blood wells up immediately. I press my fingertip gently to her lips. She latches on by instinct, and her cries finally stop. When the blood from that finger runs dry, she starts fussing again. I quickly bite open another finger and let her feed once more. For the entire night, this is how I keep her calm, and by morning, I am visibly drained. Watching this unfold, Lyra's emotions run deep. If that baby is her, then she owes Kai her life. I carry the baby down to a small village at the foot of the mountain and tell the story to the village elder. The elder sends word to the other villagers. Before long, a man and a woman come rushing over. They immediately burst into tears. My baby! I stare at them, puzzled. Wait a moment. Weren't you the ones who threw this child away just last night? At those words, the two of them react like cats with their tails stepped on. She is our own flesh and blood. Exactly. What kind of parents would ever throw away their own child? I am not entirely sure these are the same two people from last night, but after a moment's hesitation, I hand the baby back to them. As the sun sets, I prepare to move on and see what lies further away. But before I go, something makes me circle back to their house. Just as I reach the window, hear the baby crying again. The man's voice follows, thick with irritation. This brat never stops crying. I am trying to sleep. That kid is gone now. Let's just dump her again. The mother's voice cuts in. What if someone brings her back again? Maybe we should sell her. We could hand her over to another village as a child bride. I've heard enough. I kick the door open. You call yourselves parents? My hand tightens around my chopper and bow. The man shrugs without a care. I made her. What I do with her is my business. I clench my fist and say in a cold, quiet voice, you want to sell her? Fine. I will buy her. The man and woman stare in disbelief. You are just a kid. You have money? I tell them to wait and sprint back up the mountain, terrified something will happen. I haul the white tiger's carcass all the way back and drop it at their door. This tiger, is that enough? The woman beams and says yes, 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 but the man grows even more greedy. Not enough. Throw in that tiger skin coat you are wearing. He takes the coat and only then hands me the baby. This worthless girl is yours now. Raise her as your child bride. Do whatever you want with her. I carefully take her into my arms. She immediately stops fussing and breaks into the most adorable smile. I slip away with her into the night. I have no home. You have no home either. From now on, we survive together, just the two of us. We will never be separated. Then I remember telling my father I wanted a little sister. I look down at her, my face full of warmth. From now on, you are my little sister. As long long as I have a single bite of food, I will never let you go hungry. And as long as I am here, no one will ever hurt you. Your name is Lyra." In that moment, the entire alliance finally understands. That baby is the woman now standing before them as Empress Lyra. Some even begin to feel that Lyra owes Kai a great deal, not by blood, but bound deeper than family. Lyra speaks quietly. "Kai saved my life. When this is over, I will enter closed-door seclusion and never set foot in this world again. Far from that village, I find a safe spot, hold Lyra close, and fall asleep. When I wake the next morning, I set out for the next village. The most pressing problem is feeding Lyra. She can barely eat anything solid. She needs milk. By evening, I reach the next village. There are cattle and sheep, but I worry animal milk might not be right for her. I ask everyone in the village but find no nursing mother, so I move on, checking 3 more villages in a row until I finally find a woman who can help. But she has conditions. She will only nurse Lyra in exchange for something. So from that day on, I hunt in the mountains every single day, trading game for milk. This goes on for a long time. My once chubby frame grows thinner with every passing day of hunting, but every time I see a little more color in Lyra's cheeks, I know it is all worth it. Some villagers take pity on me and suggest I just abandon Lyra and move on. I refuse without a second thought. She is my sister. As long as I have food, she will never go hungry. I will not leave her. Not ever. The woman nursing Lyra is not made of stone either. Watching me grow thinner day by day, she softens her terms a little, and the burden on me eases slightly. Then one day, Lyra speaks her first word. Dada. Dada. Her tiny voice catches me off guard, and I gently correct her. "I am your brother." But she keeps saying, Dada. Finally, after many corrections, Lyra makes progress. She tries to say brother, and though it comes out more like a mumble, it is still progress. Under my patient guidance, the words Lyra can say grow more and more. Whatever Lyra wants, I find a way to get it. With every copper coin saved from selling lean meat, I eventually scrape together enough to take over an abandoned house in the village. At last we have a home, but the cost is months of poor nutrition, and I am noticeably thinner than any boy my age. Murmurs ripple through the crowd before the Samsara seal. You have to admit, young Kai treated Lyra far too well. In a way, Empress Lyra is practically Kai's child bride. But the moment they catch the look in Lyra's eyes, the words die in their throats. Lyra asks herself in silence, was I really that to him in the beginning? Then why did you change? As Lyra grows a little older, I start taking her with me to hunt in the mountains, but only to the safer areas. Staying cooped up in the village forever is no way to live. She needs to see the world, and now that she is older, she can eat lean meat. But because I hunt here so often, the game in these mountains is nearly gone. So from time to time, we end up going a day with a meal and then a day without. The only fruit in the forest is papaya. So growing up, Lyra eats a great deal of papaya. At this, the members of the Righteous Alliance think of a certain well-known quality of papaya, but none of them dare bring it up to Lyra. Lyra herself instinctively glances down. Well, it does seem to have worked. In the blink of an eye, 5 or 6 years pass. Both Lyra and I have grown. I am 11 now. One day, just like any other, I take Lyra out hunting. Suddenly, I catch the scent of danger. In the distance, a pack of wolves has surrounded a boy about my age. I raise my bow and drop 3 wolves from a distance. With the twin pupils active and drawing on every bit of me hard-won experience, I take down the entire pack. But the boy has already been mauled into unconsciousness, without stopping to collect anything. I hold Lyra with one arm on, carry the boy on my back, rushing home. I pack the wounds with medicinal herbs. Then my eyes go sharp. There, beneath the boy's sternum, is a bone covered in glowing runes. Could this be the legendary supreme bone? That ancient book said, whoever possesses it shall reign supreme over all of humanity. At this moment, the entire alliance draws a sharp breath. At the same time, every eye turns to one sovereign emperor in the hall, Zane, Kai's sworn brother. During a grievous injury, his supreme bone was taken from him. Led by Varen, he came to believe it was Kai who took it, and that is why Zane joined the Righteous Alliance. Now Zane speaks plainly. That is correct. The one who saved me back then was Kai. The crowd finally understands. Everything fits now. But one thing still puzzles everyone. Kai took the supreme bone later, so why not here, when the chance was perfect? Varen acts as if he has it all figured out. Simple. It must have been young Lyra's doing. Kai felt the temptation, but Lyra's pure heart held him back. That is why Kai did not take Zane's supreme bone that day. The crowd finds this convincing. But Lyra says nothing, watching in silence. Her memories from early childhood are blurry. She suffered a great calamity when she was young, and everything before it is hazy. In the vision, little Lyra speaks with pure, innocent curiosity. Kai, what is the supreme bone? I press on Zane's acupressure points while giving Lyra a simple answer. It is an incredibly powerful bone. With it, you become the strongest person in the world. Little Lyra does not overthink it. With total innocence, she says, then take it out and give it to Kai. You should be the strongest. In that moment, the entire alliance is speechless. Everyone stares at Varen with deeply awkward expressions. No matter how you look at it, it was Empress Lyra who was stirring things up. Varen is visibly flustered. Kids say the darndest things. Kids say the darndest things. Young Lyra had no idea what she was suggesting. That is completely understandable. Lyra herself cannot quite settle her emotions. She never expected that she, of all people, had egged Kai on toward taking the supreme bone. To her words, I simply shake my head. Lyra, we cannot do that. No matter how valuable something is, if it belongs to someone else, it stays that way. The twin pupils are already the path to invincibility. Why would I ever need to take another person's bone? The alliance is thunderstruck. To think that Kai carried this kind of conviction and self-restraint even as a child. No wonder he became the Sovereign Emperor. The twin pupils are already the path to invincibility. Why would I ever need to take another person's bone? What a line. I can feel Kai's character and spirit in those words. That kind of belief and self-discipline is not something ordinary people have. Faced with the supreme bone and such a perfect opportunity, and still not reaching for it, even though standing here right now could not say they would do the same. Lyra holds on to those words too. Kai is right. What belongs to someone else will always belong to them. I will remember that. But the moment she thinks about Kai later taking her twin pupils, her expression turns cold as stone. After all the effort, I finally stop the bleeding and dress the wounds. Under my care, the boy finally wakes. Did you save me? Yes. Our exchange is short. I roast one of the wolves and hand him a leg. He does not hesitate. He tears into it with huge bites. He needs the strength. Once he has eaten his fill, the boy speaks. My name is Zane. I never leave a debt unpaid. What do you want? I think it over. Are you a cultivator? When the wolves had him surrounded, I could tell he had some real ability, just like the cultivators describe it in those books. He nods. Then can you teach me to cultivate? I want to protect Lyra. He shakes his head. To become a cultivator, you have to start training from a very young age. You have already missed your chance. I want to try anyway. Even the smallest chance. I will take it. Zane thinks for a moment and pulls a manual from his chest. This is a cultivation technique. How much you get out of it depends entirely on you. The Alliance takes one look. It is the most basic cultivation manual in existence. So worthless that no one would bother picking it up off the ground. But young Kai treats it like treasure. I accept it carefully and thank him. We exchange names. Once Zane's wounds have healed enough, he leaves. The Alliance breaks into murmurs. Surely, Kai did not reach the peak of the Sovereign Emperor realm using only this basic manual? Varen nearly shouts. Impossible! He must have stumbled onto some great fortune later on. And then right before everyone's eyes, I open my chi-si in half the time it takes to burn a single stick of incense and step into the chi condensation realm. The crowd goes pale. Among all of them, the fastest anyone had ever reached chi condensation was 3 full days. In the cultivation world, realms go as follows: chi condensation, foundation building, golden core, nascent soul, spirit transformation, Tao integration, tribulation crossing, grand completion, true immortal, immortal sovereign, quasi-immortal emperor, sovereign emperor. The vast majority of people never open a chi-si in their entire lives, never setting foot in chi condensation at all. Yet young Kai does it with ease, armed with nothing but a worthless manual. Desperate to save face, Varen speaks up again. This is simply Kai's natural talent, but it also means that everything, Kai even being able to walk the path of cultivation, is owed to Zane. If Zane had never given him that manual, Kai might have lived out an ordinary life. Zane speaks up. That Kai found the path of cultivation. Yes, that did come from me. But whatever Kai became later, he was once my sworn brother. Taking part in this attack on him, I cannot say I feel no guilt. When this is over, I will enter closed-door seclusion and walk away from this world entirely. Just then someone cries out, "Look!" Young Kai's power keeps rising. In that brief span, I reached the 6th level of chi condensation before stopping. Not because I hit a wall, but because Lyra might be getting hungry and I need to feed her. The moment she is full, I go right back to cultivating. As time passes, I break through from the 6th level of chi condensation into the foundation building realm. The Alliance completely erupts, breaking into foundation building in a single day. Something like that has never been seen across all of creation. Not before, not after. Many are shaken, but Varen keeps attributing everything to the twin pupils and never misses a chance to smear Kai's name. Zane watches it all, his heart tangled and heavy with pain. He and Kai were truly sworn brothers once. Yet Kai later ripped out his supreme bone without mercy. Brother, could it really be that one bone was enough to make you into someone like this? Zane never says it aloud. No one else ever knows. Even now, Zane still calls Kai brother in his heart, but lets out a quiet, heavy sigh. His brother had changed after all. In the days that follow, alongside my own cultivation, I begin teaching Lyra to cultivate. I have felt firsthand how much cultivation matters. I do not want Lyra caught up in my future path of revenge, but if she can cultivate even a little, at least she will be able to protect herself. The Alliance is buzzing with anticipation. Kai stepped into chi condensation in the blink of an eye, and into foundation building in a single day. And Empress Lyra also has the twin pupils. Her talent must be extraordinary too, Varen says with full confidence. Just wait and see. Empress Lyra's cultivation speed is bound to off the charts. Kai just got lucky with the twin pupils. Empress Lyra's speed might even surpass his. Everyone agrees. I have Lyra follow the cultivation manual. At first I do not guide her directly. After all, no one guided me at the start, and I worry that forcing my method on her might not suit her. It might lead her down the wrong path. Better to let her find her own way. But as Lyra tries to cultivate on her own, forget about sensing the chi-si instantly or entering chi condensation in a blink. 2 full days pass, and Lyra cannot sense even the faintest trace of her chi-si. Kai, this is so hard. Kai, can you please teach me? Lyra turns to me, deflated. Right now, the most uncomfortable person in the Alliance is Varen. Every doubtful stare finds him. He clears his throat. Empress Lyra is still very young. Her mind is not yet fully formed. Once she has proper guidance, she will catch up to Kai's speed. Others find this convincing enough. Once young Kai steps in to coach her, the Empress should be able to grasp it all. I look at Lyra reaching out to me for help. I think it over, and still decide not to step in just yet. In my view, a method you discover yourself is always stronger than one someone else hands you. I expect this approach will help Lyra cultivate more smoothly. but I do not expect that 2 more days pass and Lyra still cannot find her chi si. So I decided teach Lyra my own cultivation method. Try this approach and see if it works for you. If it does not feel right, do not push yourself. Lyra nods obediently. She practices with my method for several more days, and still cannot enter her chi si. The alliance is baffled. She has proper guidance now, and still nothing. It makes no sense. Every stare drifts back to Varen. He clears his throat again. This must be a matter of her young mind not yet being fully developed. In a few more days, Empress Lyra will surely enter chi condensation. But what happens next leaves everyone stunned. Half a full year passes inside the Samsara seal. Lyra still cannot sense her chi si. Not a single step forward in all that time. Her talent can only be described as completely ordinary. Some low-level cultivators might not even be worse. Amid the sea of confused stares, Varen offers what he believes is the most likely explanation. There is only one answer now. Empress Lyra has simply not yet awakened her twin pupils. Consider this. Kai awakened his twin pupils only after his village was slaughtered. Awakening seems to require a specific trigger. Lyra is turning this over in her mind. All she remembers is suffering some great calamity in childhood, and when she came to, the twin pupil power was already awakened. As for how that power came to be, she always assumed it simply awoke in its own when the time was right. Varen reaches his conclusion. Hear me out, everyone. I believe awakening the twin pupil power likely requires either a trigger of deep hatred or a moment of life-threatening crisis to awaken. This theory is immediately met with wide agreement. Varen speaks with reason and evidence, truly worthy of being the next sovereign emperor. You flatter me. Now, if my theory holds, then Kai saving Empress Lyra actually blocked her from awakening the twin pupils. If Kai had never appeared, wild beasts would have found infant Lyra. Faced with that life-threatening moment, Empress Lyra might very well have awakened her twin pupils on her own. So no matter how you look at it, Kai stood in the way of Empress Lyra becoming her strongest self. The crowd embraces this idea. They all believe Kai held Lyra back. Without him, she might have climbed even higher, perhaps even become the sovereign emperor herself. But Lyra watches all of this, deeply uncertain. She asks herself quietly, did Kai really stop me from awakening the twin pupils? Something deep inside her stirs, a feeling that the truth might be something else entirely. In the time that follows, Lyra simply cannot sense her chi si. In the end, she gives up entirely and stops trying altogether. I cannot force her, so I let it go. If Lyra cannot cultivate, then I will simply protect her myself. In this half year, my realm rises from foundation building into golden core. 2 more years pass, and I climb from golden core all the way to the peak of nascent soul. But no matter how hard I push after that, my cultivation stays locked at the nascent soul peak. No matter how deeply I study the manual, I cannot break through into spirit transformation. The stunned alliance finally understands. Kai has been cultivating with nothing but a basic ordinary manual. A technique like this can only take someone unto nascent soul at best. Reaching spirit transformation is simply impossible with it. And even reaching nascent soul peak is theoretically the ceiling for this technique. In other words, young Kai's current level is the limit of the manual, not the limit of Kai himself. It is hard to even imagine what realm Kai might have reached in his youth if given a proper cultivation technique. 3 years have passed. I am 14. Lyra is 8. Kai, I'm so bored. Can we go to town? I heard there's so much fun stuff there. Lyra can call me by name now. Every day she follows me up the mountain to hunt, then back to the village. At most we wander to a nearby village. This routine was fine at first, but as time goes on, Lyra is growing restless. She has heard that the big town market is lively and exciting, and she desperately wants to go. I figure my strength is enough now to keep Lyra safe. So I agree. In that case, we go to town today. The moment Lyra hears this, she leaps with excitement. Kai, you are the best! Her voice is full of pure adoration, mixed with the pure joy of finally getting to go out. Lyra dresses herself up carefully, puts on her best outfit. Even as young as she is, I can already see glimpses of the breathtaking beauty she will grow into. I take Lyra and fly toward town. The moment we enter, she's completely overwhelmed. This is so fun. There are so many people. I have never seen this many people before. Kai, look at their clothes, especially those ones on horses. Wow, Kai, what is that? Is that what people call a stage show? Lyra gasps and marvels at everything she sees while I walk beside her with a quiet smile, patiently explaining everything. But there are things I do not know either, and I say so honestly. Lyra, I actually do not know what that is. That is fine. Kai is still the greatest. Everyone has things they do not know. Lyra waves it off without a second thought. Watching this moment unfold, Lyra grips her fingers so tightly they go pale. She has a faint memory. That great calamity of hers seems to be connected to what comes next. I wander through the town with Lyra, carefree. Kai, is that person eating candied hawthorn skewers? I want one. I want to buy one. Lyra already has a few coins and darts straight for the vendor the moment she spots him. Lyra, slow down. I hurry after her. But just then, high above, hidden in the clouds, the white-browed sage gazes down over the entire town with cold, cruel eyes. His gaze locks onto Lyra. Didn't expect to find such a spirited little girl in a backwater like this, he sneers, and sweeps one hand through the air. Young girls throughout the town are ripped from the ground against their will, all rising toward the clouds. Lyra is among them, screaming. All around, parents shriek and lunge for their daughters, but an invisible force hurls them all aside. The parents hit the ground and go still, their life signs gone. The scene is brutally cruel. I fight with everything I have to reach Lyra, but the same force pins me down. The white-browed sage raises an eyebrow. A nascent soul peak cultivator in a nowhere town? He does not take it seriously. With the souls of these girls, this old man's power will reach a whole new level. Even the heavenly tribulation will be nothing to me. The Alliance immediately understands. This white-browed sage is a Tao integration realm cultivator. Young Kai stands no chance against him, and openly harvesting the souls of young girls to feed one's divine soul. In the present day, this would draw the wrath of every cultivator in the world. Someone murmurs. Looking at this, the new laws Kai enacted after taking the throne actually did a great deal of good for the world. At least horrors like this are far less common now. Varen decides the moment has come. Everyone. Empress Lyra is facing a life-threatening crisis. She is sure to awaken the twin pupil power now. Varen is right. If both of them have the twin pupils active, they might actually have a chance against the white-browed sage. But what plays out is heartbreaking. I burn my blood essence and push every last drop of strength chasing after Lyra, but the gap in power is simply too great. I cannot reach her. Then I watch as the white-browed sage tears the soul directly out of Lyra's body. Lyra's face goes rigid in an instant, a sign that her life is gone. The Alliance explodes. What is happening? How can this be? Not only did Lyra fail to awaken the twin pupil, she died as a child. Then how do we explain the Empress Lyra standing before us right now? When a soul is taken, it means the end. Completely and forever. A dead person cannot awaken anything. The Alliance had expected young Lyra to awaken the twin pupils in this very moment and fight alongside Kai. But what the seal shows has left everyone without answers. Varen does his best to make sense of it. What likely happened is that when the white-browed sage extracted Lyra's soul, he sealed it inside a treasure without fully consuming it. And later, young Kai defeated the sage, freed Lyra's soul, and saved her. Even as he says it, Varen does not believe his own words. For young Kai to kill the white-browed sage at this point would be impossible, and Varen has no idea what the seal will show next. Lyra herself stands frozen in place. She faintly remembers suffering a great calamity and waking up with a feeling of being reborn. Just then, the white-browed sage in the vision makes his move. He devours every soul at once. In an instant, the sage's primordial spirit visibly swells, and his aura surges dramatically. Every member of the Alliance is at least at the quasi-immortal emperor level. They all know exactly what this means. Lyra's soul has been fully consumed. There is no hope of survival. Does Empress Lyra really die here? If so, then who is the Empress Lyra who fought alongside us against Kai? None of this makes any sense. Someone tell me what is going on. Then Varen has a flash of inspiration. Everyone, I think I know what happened. The girl in this vision shares Lyra's name, but she is not the real Empress Lyra. What likely happened is that this girl died here, and sometime later Kai took in another girl as his sister, and that girl became the Empress Lyra we know today. The crowd finds this hard to believe, but it seems to be the only explanation that fits. After all, the Lyra in the vision is dead, and the Lyra watching the seal feels certain nothing about this is as simple as it looks. Then, the entire Alliance hears it, my voice, raw and broken, tearing through the samsara seal. Lyra! That cry of despair catches the white-browed sage's attention. He glances at me without concern. He picks up Lyra's limp, lifeless body and tosses it toward me. You want her? Then take her. I catch Lyra with trembling, desperate care. There is not a trace of color in her face. It feels like 1,000 blades tearing through my chest. Lyra, can you hear me? Answer me. No matter how loud I call, Lyra can no longer answer. Her pale lips, her colorless face, I know what it means. Lyra is gone. After devouring so many souls, the white-browed sage turns to leave and find a place to face his heavenly tribulation. But before he can move, I plant myself directly in his path and shout, give her back. Give Lyra back to me. He looks at my wild, broken state and lets out a short, dismissive laugh. Little brat, your sister is dead. This old man is in a good mood. I will let you walk away. But if you push your luck, do not blame me for what follows. Then I will kill you. Her life for Lyra's. I step closer. The white-browed sage does not take me seriously at all. But one strike from me makes him frown. A nascent soul cultivator hitting with the force of a mid-level spirit transformation cultivator. The sage goes on alert immediately. Little brat, which sect are you from? If fate has brought us together, this old man might spare your life today, even after the disrespect you have shown. His real concern is whether this boy belongs to some powerful clan. If so, this is not an enemy he can afford to make. The thought makes the sage regret ever coming to this town. But something puzzles him. If the boy comes from a powerful family, then why is his sister so completely ordinary? I am not listening to any of it. I drive a palm strike straight at the sage from midair, a fighting style I forged through years of hunting. The white-browed sage stares in disbelief. Sword intent? But the boy is holding no sword. He is channeling sword intent through his bare hand. The sage underestimated me. My palm connects, and his robe bursts apart at the chest. Before he can recover from the shock, I press the attack again and close the gap. forcing into close combat. Fighting a Tao integration cultivator far beyond my level, I throw myself at him with pure desperate instinct. To any onlooker, it looks like suicide, but under my relentless savage assault, the sage finds himself scrambling to keep up. Then he lets out a cold snort, and the full aura of Tao integration bursts outward, hurling me through the air. But I do not retreat. I fight him with one hand, and shield Lyra in my arms with the other, refusing to let her take a single hit, even though she is already a body growing cold. Rage burns through me, and the twin pupils begin to split apart in both eyes. In an instant, a wave of invisible pressure radiates outward. The white-browed sage goes completely still with shock. He recognizes it immediately, the twin pupils, and at once wild excitement floods his face. If he can seize the twin pupil power, why would he ever fear the heavenly tribulation? Not just the tribulation, grand completion, true immortal, all the way to quasi-immortal emperor, and sovereign emperor, none of it would be beyond his reach. And seeing that this boy is only at the nascent soul realm, the white-browed sage feels the heavens are on his side. Ha! Little brat, this old man will use your twin pupil power to carve his path all the way to the sovereign emperor realm. He reaches out with one great hand to grab the boy he has locked in place, but the next instant a cold, quiet light flickers in my eyes. The sage's lock on me shatters. The white-browed sage is left completely rattled. The twin pupil power, truly fearsome. The white-browed sage dares not underestimate it. He is certain that the moment he gets serious, this boy has no chance of winning. With a thunderous roar, the white-browed sage makes his move. A pitch-black soul banner appears in his hand. Everyone in the Righteous Alliance burns with rage. Countless lives have been sacrificed to forge that banner. Worse still, every soul trapped inside was an ordinary person. The Alliance cultivators are ready to explode. They want to cut him down, right here and now. The white-browed sage drives the banner forward. Dark, seething resentment coils around my shoulder. He moves to rip my shoulder apart, but in the next instant, a blaze of golden light erupts from my twin pupils. A golden sword shoots out like a bolt. The Alliance cultivators are stunned. Is this the Eye-Fire divine weapon of the twin pupil power? That sword feels like at least a high-grade spirit artifact. For most cultivators, that would mean nothing. But they know, for young Kai, a high-grade spirit artifact is a devastating weapon. The soul banner the white-browed sage spent so long forging barely qualifies as a mid-grade spirit artifact, and the twin pupil power has barely even warmed up, yet it conjures a high-grade spirit artifact out of thin air. How terrifying will it become in the future? Then a question rises in everyone's minds. They have never seen Kai use the twin pupil power before. As my golden sword swings forward, the resentful souls in the banner touch its golden light and scatter like mice fleeing a cat. My eyes flash. The golden sword transforms into a massive golden greatsword. Under my relentless assault, the soul banner shatters into pieces. The backlash hits the white-browed sage hard. A mouthful of origin blood sprays from his lips. His heart is filled with absolute terror. He never imagined that a nascent soul boy 2 full realms below him could destroy his origin treasure. The entire alliance falls silent. They can all see it. That golden greatsword is a quasi-immortal emperor artifact. The twin pupil power is this terrifying? Then a quasi-immortal emperor cultivator notices something. From Kai's twin pupils, a thin trickle of golden blood is seeping out. Without thinking, this quasi-immortal emperor steps forward, and in the very next instant he claps both hands over his eyes and screams. His body convulses with pain. Everyone tenses. What is happening? Varen rushes to explain. Everyone stay back from the Samsara seal. The closer you get, the more the suffering of those inside the vision transfers to you. Anyone below the immortal emperor realm, stay away. If you have reached immortal emperor, you may take a closer look. But Varen does not finish his sentence. He tries to demonstrate, stepping a few paces toward the Samsara seal, and his face drains white as a sheet. If not for him sealing his own voice with cultivation in time, he would have screamed just like that quasi-immortal emperor. A dozen immortal emperors hear Varen's words and assume their level shields them. They step forward without concern, and the next instant, a dozen agonized screams tear through the air. Every single person scrambles away from the Samsara seal. Varen's face is pale, and more than a little embarrassed. My fellow cultivators, I apologize. I overlooked this. Within the vision shown by the Samsara seal, the physical sensation transfers regardless of cultivation level. Even a sovereign emperor will feel it fully. Please, no one approach. Not a single person dares move forward. But then Lyra steps toward the Samsara seal on her own. With every step she takes, the pain behind her eyes grows sharper. The closer she gets, the more it multiplies. Is this the pain he endured back then? Lyra stands before the Samsara seal, absorbing the pain, utterly still. Those who just felt it themselves cannot help but wonder, this agony, how did young Kai ever endure it? He is only a teenager. In the vision, facing the white-browed sage, I am in agony, but I do not even blink. There is no time for pain. The battle rages on, and little Lyra in my arms, lifeless as she is, has not been touched. With my golden greatsword, I blow apart the soul banner and press forward, slashing at the white-browed sage. He is sent flying straight up into the clouds. Before the white-browed sage can recover, I am already in the clouds after him. I am consumed by madness. I hack at him again and again through the clouds, and before long I have sent him hurling through the sky at least 300 times. The Righteous Alliance stands in total silence. No one expected the white-browed sage to be completely dominated. If this continues, everyone feels the one who dies will be the white-browed sage himself. Someone turns to Lyra and asks, once the white-browed sage is defeated, what happens next? Empress Lyra, do you remember? Varen speaks up, clearly annoyed. The little Lyra inside inside the Samsara seal is dead. She is absolutely not the Empress Lyra standing here. How could she possibly know what comes next? Lyra's voice comes through, flat and steady. In my early years, I went through a great ordeal. I cannot recall most of the details. All I remember is waking up and seeing my master. I entered her sect, and that is how I became who I am today. Speculation spreads. Did Kai slay the white-browed sage and then use some extraordinary fortune to resurrect Empress Lyra? Varen dismisses the idea outright. Little Lyra clearly had no chance of resurrection. Empress Lyra is breathtakingly gifted. Her master must surely be a reclusive grandmaster. Even as Lyra endures the pain of the Samsara seal, the thought of her master brings a quiet warmth to her heart. My master has long since perished in body and soul, yet her cultivation level even now is beyond my ability to measure. The words send a chill through the crowd. Varen sighs with unmistakable regret. What a shame. If your master were still alive and fought alongside us against Kai, he could never have held on. Lyra gives no response. She sees clearly. Varen only cares whether her master is alive because it would help him bring down Kai. The moment that thought crosses her mind, Lyra's contempt for Varen deepens. In the vision, the white-browed sage is falling back step by step, his body covered in wounds. His fingers won't stop trembling. He has lost count of how many treasures he has summoned. Every single one destroyed by the boy, and all of it comes from that single golden greatsword. The white-browed sage has no time to mourn them. All he wants is to survive. Then suddenly, the boy pulls back his sword and holds it in front of the little girl. The white-browed sage's eyes light up. He knows the boy is protecting her, even though she is already dead. So the white-browed sage begins to unleash a crushing wave of pressure, intending to crush the little girl's body entirely. I guard little Lyra with one hand and fight with the other. I am forced from offense into defense. Every single strike the white-browed sage throws is aimed at little Lyra, leaving me more and more helpless. Some Alliance cultivators can no longer hold back and hurl curses at him. You call yourself a sect grandmaster, and you stoop to attacking a mortal child? You are a disgrace to every cultivator. Because the white-browed sage keeps targeting little Lyra, I am forced to pour more and more of my strength into shielding her. I cannot attack at all. Even defending is becoming a struggle. Then the white-browed sage seizes his opening. The 9-yin blood palm. A massive blood-red hand crashes down toward me. But his target is not me. It is still little Lyra. I have no time to raise my greatsword. I spin on instinct and take the full impact with my back, shielding her with my own body. The blow sends a gush of blood spraying from my mouth. My life force visibly begins to fade. The white-browed sage hammers the same attack over and over, and each time I cannot block with my sword. I can only take it with my body. Whether I survive is no longer certain. The Alliance watches in grief and fury. Let her go. She's already dead. She stopped breathing long ago. Just run. Their words cannot reach inside the Samsara seal, but they still hope Kai will drop little Lyra and flee. If he does, there's still a chance. Why push it this far? Perhaps he still hopes to keep little Lyra's body intact, clinging to some impossible dream of bringing his sister back. Whatever crimes Kai may commit later, in this moment no one can fault his devotion to little Lyra. Standing before the Samsara seal, Lyra watches, and something shifts across her beautiful face. She remembers the words Kai once said to the villagers. She is my sister. As long as I have a single bite of food, I will never let her go hungry. In this moment, Lyra desperately hopes that little Lyra in the vision is her, and yet she hopes it is not. Because if it truly is her, she does not know how she could ever face the brother she betrayed. The brother who, just days from now, will be refined and destroyed. You little brat, it's over for you. Even now you're shielding a useless dead girl. How can anyone be this foolish? Your twin pupils. This old man is taking them. The white-browed sage erupts in laughter. Don't you dare speak of my sister like that. Even in death I'll drag you down with me. I hurl myself at him like a madman. My divine soul begins to leave my body. The white-browed sage starts to sneer. Then his expression collapses. The entire Alliance is thunderstruck. Kai has lost his mind. He is going to detonate his own nascent soul. Once it explodes, he can never reform it again. Even the white-browed sage is frozen in shock. He has never seen a nascent soul of the Purple Mansion so terrifying. An ordinary cultivator's nascent soul is the size of a fist, but Kai's is as vast as an entire palace. And then it detonates. In that instant, the white-browed sage ages 10 years. More critically, his soul takes a devastating blow. He could be obliterated at any moment. Throughout the Alliance, the atmosphere is one of stunned grief. Kai did all of this for his sister. It is heartbreaking. Varen turns to Lyra and speaks. Empress Lyra, Kai has already detonated his nascent soul of the Purple Mansion. There is no reason for you to remain in front of the Samsara seal. An empress should not share in this suffering. Faced with Varen's urging, Lyra does not move. She endures pain beyond imagination, pain that even she can barely withstand. But Lyra notices, inside the Samsara seal, Kai has not furrowed his brow even once. Since reaching the sovereign emperor realm, Lyra had almost forgotten what pain felt like. But now, under this torment, fragments of memory begin to surface. She remembers she used to be terrified of pain as a child. It was never that becoming a sovereign emperor made her fearless. She simply had not felt pain in so long. Because when she was small, Kai protected her. He never let her feel even a moment of pain. Those memories begin to merge with the scenes of young young Kai and little Lyra in the village. Inside the Samsara seal, the white-browed sage spits out another mouthful of blood essence. He looks utterly broken, his cultivation having fallen to the spirit transformation realm. Yet he still has the power to kill Kai. The white-browed sage keeps screaming, "The twin pupil power belongs to this old man." After conjuring 2 divine weapons, my eyes are already bleeding golden. I try once more to activate the twin pupil power, but I cannot. My wounds are too severe. I watch the white-browed sage close in on little Lyra and me, and I make a decision. My chi surges like a floodgate has been thrown open, rushing toward my twin pupils. The Alliance cries out, if his chi's origin is drained again, he will truly become a broken shell, unable to cultivate for the rest of his life. And Kai's chi is the most vast any of them has ever witnessed. An ordinary cultivator's chi is the size of a river. Kai's is an endless ocean. To drain a chi like that, what a waste. The white-browed sage burns through his blood essence and prepares one final devastating strike, but before he can unleash it, it is swallowed by my surging chi. At the same moment, my right eye, the twin pupil, fires a beam of terrifying light. The very fabric of space shudders. A dark annihilation ray drives straight through the white-browed sage. His body is cut in two. The white-browed sage is dead. Every member of the Alliance is left speechless. Kai, at this age, has already mastered the dark annihilation ray. Everyone agrees Kai is terrifyingly powerful. Yet with his nascent soul gone and golden blood still streaming from his eyes, they all know he is barely clinging to life. If Kai had been willing to abandon little Lyra, he would never have been reduced to this. Standing before the Samsara seal, Lyra stares, and her beautiful eyes tremble. She cannot fathom how Kai bore that much pain. Lost in thought, fragments of her childhood slowly become clear. In the vision, after cutting down the white-browed sage, my body gives out completely. I plummet toward the ground. With the last of my strength, I hold little Lyra above me, my back facing the earth. Then Varen speaks again. It is all becoming clear now. Kai's right twin pupil holds only the dark annihilation ray, not the revival white light. That means his later theft of Empress Lyra's twin pupil was solely to seize her revival white light. The moment Varen says this, every cultivator turns to look at Lyra. Something feels wrong. Some of them have seen Lyra use her twin pupil before, and it was not the revival white light. Lyra herself knows this better than anyone. She has never once used the revival white light. Her twin pupil has always been the dark annihilation ray. Then suddenly, a bold thought takes hold in Lyra's mind. Her heart will not settle. Impossible. If that were true, it would be absolutely impossible. In the vision, I am falling fast from a deadly height. If I hit the ground, I am finished. But then the space rift I tore open with the dark annihilation ray suddenly reaches out a withered, aged hand. That force wraps around me, and I drift gently to the ground. Varen cannot hold back a cold snort. This man is the greatest villain in all of the Changshuan realm, and someone reaches out to save him? The next instant, a frail figure steps out from the space rift I tore open. It is an elderly woman with white hair, and Lyra, standing in the Alliance, cries out on the spot, "Master!" This woman is Lyra's own teacher. The Alliance erupts in shock. No one imagined the one who intervened was Empress Lyra's master. Varen's face darkens, knowing he just hurled insults at her. "Empress Lyra, I meant no disrespect to your master. Thank you for saving my life." I bow to the elder with great effort. She smiles warmly. "Think nothing of it. I felt the space rift you tore from another dimension. Perhaps we were fated to meet." Suddenly something comes to mind. One last hope rises in my heart. "Please, save my sister." The elder's reply is calm and measured. "A person already dead, a mortal body, is of no use to me. Why would I save her?" The entire Alliance goes quiet. Everyone assumed this kind-hearted elder would naturally bring little Lyra back to life. Reality slaps them in the face. Lyra stands frozen. Was my master's kindness to me only ever because of my twin pupil? Lyra realizes that nothing in this world is ever freely given. But then, what does that make Kai's unconditional devotion to little Lyra? Suddenly, Lyra finds her convictions beginning to crack. Seeing the elder refuse to save little Lyra, I grow desperate. "Elder, I am also someone on the verge of death. If that is your reason, then why did you save me but not my sister?" The elder smiles again, gently. "You are different. You are of use to me, because you have the twin pupils. Young one, do not misunderstand. I have no intention of taking your twin pupils. On the contrary, I will give you everything I have." Seeing my confusion, the elder continues. "I am of the Heking sect. Though the Heking sect was destroyed in the ancient age, its supreme legacy survived. For years I have searched for an heir, and had nearly given up hope, until I found you here. With your gift, the Heking sect will rise again." Inside the Alliance, Varen seethes with jealousy. He cannot understand why these extraordinary opportunities never happened to him. Watching Kai's expression shift with temptation, Varen sneers with contempt. In my opinion, Kai is no different from anyone else. In the end, he just wants to seize this power and become stronger. That is all. Varen savors his own superiority as he speaks. In his mind, he and Kai are fundamentally the same. Then Kai speaks from inside the Samsara seal. "If I receive this legacy, will it let me save my sister?" When Varen hears that, he cannot believe it. Kai does not want the power for himself at all. He wants it to save his sister. The elder answers me without hesitation. "No, because your sister sister is already dead. Not even a sovereign emperor could save her. The moment I hear that, my expression goes flat. Then this power means nothing to me. At that, even the elder struggles to stay composed. Think carefully. Even if this legacy cannot save your sister, it can restore your power. How can you call that useless? I answer, utterly calm. My nascent soul of the purple mansion is gone. My chi si is drained dry. I am a broken shell. I am not worthy of your legacy. The elder gives a quiet laugh. You have the twin pupils. That alone places you above all others. With the twin pupil powers gift, you will heal in time. Then a thought strikes me. If my sister had the twin pupils, could she then receive the Hecking Sect's legacy? And if she received the legacy, could she be brought back to life? The elder shakes her head. Your sister does not have the twin pupils. She is an ordinary person. The moment I intervened, I saw through both your gifts completely. Let go of your dead sister. Once you are strong enough, you can find a girl just like her. As many as you wish. The elder is trying to break his resolve and accept the Hecking Sect's legacy. But after a long silence, I meet the elder's eyes with absolute certainty. Then if I am willing to pay any price, can she receive the legacy and come back to life? Those words land like a thunderclap. The alliance erupts. What did Kai just say? He wants to give his eyes to his sister, so little Lyra can receive the legacy and live again. Those are the twin pupils. Who gives something like that away? Wait, if he actually succeeded, then Empress Lyra's twin pupils right now. Suddenly no one dares finish the thought. The implication is too staggering. And Lyra, standing before the Samsara seal, is in turmoil. Did they truly come from him? I was the one who betrayed him. How do I face him? Varen steps forward to calm the crowd. Everyone, do not jump to conclusions. Kai must have failed. After all, little Lyra was dead. That is an undeniable fact. The elder is clearly shaken by my words. After a long pause, she speaks. Young one, I admire your devotion to your sister, but I must tell you, even if you transplant your twin pupils into her, she remains dead. A dead person cannot receive the Hecking Sect's legacy. A flicker of hope lights up my eyes. You are exactly right, Elder. A dead person cannot receive the legacy. But Elder, you can bring my sister back to life first, can't you? The Elder grows flustered. What are you talking about? When did I ever say I could save her? I press on. If you truly could not, you would never have said this much. You can save my sister. Elder, I only need one answer. Do you or do you not have the power to save her? I have quietly noticed, this white-haired elder seems incapable of lying. After a long silence, she finally speaks. Yes, even a sovereign emperor could not save your sister, but I can. Another wave of sharp gasps sweeps through the alliance. No one dares imagine how powerful she truly is. Varen seizes the moment. Empress Lyra's master is truly an unfathomable grandmaster. No wonder even Empress Lyra cannot measure her cultivation. There is something about this woman. Varen has always found her presence strangely elusive, almost unreal. Then suddenly, the elder speaks again. But I will not save her. You are the rightful heir of the Hecking Sect. I answer without hesitation. No, Elder, you will save her, because she is about to have my twin pupil, and I raise my hand toward my own eye. The elder recoils in alarm. Young one, do not act rashly. You must understand, even if I revive her and call back her soul, she will be like a living corpse. Then if she receives the Hecking Sect's legacy, will she be fully restored? The elder wants to say something, but she truly cannot lie. Slowly she nods. That is enough. With that settled, one hand goes to my twin pupil, and the other rests over little Lyra. The elders, please continue. But I am no longer listening. The next instant, I activate the twin pupil technique. The pupil transfer. Before the Samsara seal, Lyra stumbles back several steps, her face drained of color. The pupil transfer, is this agonizing? This pain far surpasses the detonated nascent soul, the drained chi si. Then someone cannot hold back the question. Was the Empress not once stripped of her twin pupils by force? Then is this the first time she is feeling this pain? Lyra shakes her head. That time, I had already been knocked unconscious by Kai beforehand. I knew nothing. When I woke, the twin pupils were already gone. Then it strikes Lyra. Perhaps there was another reason. If Kai had wanted to cause her pain, he could have done it while she was awake. After a long, grueling time, I endure the agony, fighting the urge to pass out, and I hold on. When it is finally over, my right eye is ordinary now, the same eye little Lyra once had. Elder, please save my sister. Just those few words nearly drain the last of my strength. The elder lets out a heavy long sigh, and at last, with no other choice, she seals the area with a barrier. A surge of soul energy explodes outward. Before long, I watch little Lyra's soul drift down from above. Under the elder's soul summoning art, color returns to little Lyra's pale face, and breath returns to her body. Thank you, elder. Now please, give my sister the Hecking Sect's legacy at once. The elder stops the soul summoning art. The place of inheritance is not here. In a moment, I will take her through the space rift to the inheritance grounds. Once she goes, who knows when you two will meet again. I give a quiet sound of agreement, but I cannot take my eyes off little Lyra in my arms. After a long moment, I turn away. Elder, please, take my sister to the Hecking Sect's inheritance grounds. The elder raises her hand. Little Lyra enters the space rift first. Your sister may be gone for a very long time. How will she find you when she returns? I answer calmly. It does not matter. I doubt I will still be alive by then. The elder's aged eyes tremble. She understands now. The boy just said goodbye to his sister as if it were the last time. After a moment's thought, the elder raises her hand and presses a soul imprint into my body. When your sister completes her training and returns, if you are still alive, this imprint will lead her to you. Thank you, elder. I force the words out. I know this imprint will probably never be used, but it gives me a reason to keep fighting to stay alive. The elder's voice softens with regret. What a shame. My purpose is to find an heir. Everything in the inheritance grounds belongs to the successor. I have no right to use it. Otherwise, I would give you medicine to heal. But after a brief silence, the elder sends several streams of soul energy into me. The energy nourishes my soul just enough. The candle in the wind feeling fades. I can survive now. Meeting my puzzled gaze, the elder smiles. I cannot use the Hecking Sect's resources for you, but I can use my own strength to help you. As you can see, I died long ago. I now exist as a soul. That is precisely why I could perform the soul summoning art and call back your sister's soul. But in this form, I can only nourish your soul. Nothing more. What? Empress Lyra's master is a soul? The revelation detonates through the alliance. Lyra finally understands. Her master exists only as a soul. No wonder her presence always felt so elusive. Hearing the elder's words, I barely react. But Varen is rattled. He refuses to accept that Kai's judgment surpasses his own. It is worse than a death blow to his pride. The Hecking Sect requires full honesty with every potential heir, which is why I cannot lie. But compared to your sister, young one, you are far more worthy. If I were not the sole patriarch of the Hecking Sect, I could never have summoned soul. And if you had not kept her body intact, her soul would have had nowhere to return. Perhaps this little girl was always meant to find the Hecking Sect. Thank you, Elder. You are my sister's greatest benefactor. I bow to her again with great effort. But Elder, you still have not told me why you saved me. I no longer have the twin pupils. My nascent soul is destroyed. My chi si is empty. I am completely useless now. Why help me at all? The Elder's smile is quiet and certain. Whoever said you were useless? Young one, I see boundless potential in you. If you survive, what you become may exceed even my imagination. And with the bond you have with your sister, you will naturally protect her. Which means protecting the Hecking Sect's heir. How can you call that useless? Young one, I have a feeling, if you survive, your sister will grow without fear, and the shield she relies on will not be the Hecking Sect's legacy. It will be you. Everyone in the Alliance is in awe of the Elder's foresight. She is exactly right. The greatest protection Empress Lyra has ever had is not her cultivation. It is Kai, not her legacy. Think about it. Lyra carries the twin pupils. She has a face that could topple kingdoms. In her weaker years, how could she not attract dangerous eyes? But with an undefeatable Kai at her side, no one dares make a move against Lyra. Without Kai's presence, Lyra might have perished in body and soul long ago. She owes Kai so much, and she has no idea how to begin repaying it. Now I finally understand why you saved me. Thank you, Elder. I will never forget this kindness. The Elder smiles serenely. A few more centuries make no difference to me. I would rather stake that time on a boy with limitless possibility. Everyone in the Alliance quietly agrees. Everything she has said and done is right. I will repay your kindness, Elder. Whatever you need, I will give it everything I have. The Elder smiles again. In that case, I do have one small request. If you ever encounter those who carry the Hecking Sect's bloodline, please lend them a hand. I nod seriously. I understand. If I ever meet those connected to you, I will protect them completely. At those words, the Elder's face finally softens. Good. It is time. I must take your sister now. Young one, you will not disappoint me. Just as the Elder is about to leave, something comes to mind. Elder, have you ever heard of the Palace of Yama? The Elder thinks hard and shakes her head. Even one who has seen so much knows nothing of the Palace of Yama. Before she leaves, the Elder asks me one final question. Young one, you have sacrificed everything for your sister. If the roles were reversed, would she do the same for you? Those words strike Lyra like lightning. A question that cuts to the very soul. She is already beginning to break. I hear the Elder's question and offer a quiet smile. She would. She absolutely would, but I hope she never has to. Those words shatter Lyra completely. Tears spill silently from her eyes. I haven't. I never did anything like this for you. When did I ever? Lyra knows it. She never gave Kai everything from her heart. She stabbed him in the back. Kai had shared every secret passage and hidden mechanism of the Tiandi Palace with her without a second thought, and Lyra used it all to betray him. She led a blade straight to the brother who had never once let her down. I turned against him. I actually did that to him. Young one, may fate bring us together again. I hope your sister will not let you down. As I offer the Elder my final bow, the Elder takes little Lyra and vanishes from this space. Then, with a last of her power, she sends me away, hurling through the sky, direction unknown. As the barrier the Elder had placed dissolves, several powerful cultivators rush to investigate the area. They find nothing. No one knows what just happened here. While Kai flies off into the unknown, Lyra stands before the Samsara seal with eyes full of tears. Then she erupts, Sovereign Emperor energy unleashed, aimed directly at the Samsara seal. She wants to destroy it, to bring Kai out, but a razor-sharp sword intent cuts through the air and blocks her path. I knew this was coming. So you intend to free Kai. The one who acts is the Sword Empress. Varen rushes forward. Empress Lyra, Kai's crimes are too great. He cannot be released. Lyra's expression does not flicker. He is my brother. I will free him. Perhaps Kai has wronged the world, but he has never wronged me. Whatever it takes, I will free him. Once he is out, I will persuade him to give up the throne. We will disappear together, never interfering in the world again. Whoever sits on the throne after that, it is none none of our concern. How noble. Your brother wronged the world, yet he never wronged you. Then what of the Sword Empress's clan, slaughtered by your brother? As the Sword Empress's intent grows colder, Varen cuts in again. Think carefully. Your twin pupils were taken by your own brother, he wronged you too. Lyra's answer is absolute. My twin pupils were given to me by Kai in the first place. His taking them back is only right. As she speaks, a terrifying star disk materializes above Lyra's head, its interior a vast and churning galaxy. The crowd erupts in shock. Lyra has summoned the Hecking Disk, her very own life-bound treasure. With the Hecking Disk alone, she has annihilated countless Emperor-level cultivators. Empress Lyra, please reconsider. For a man whose crimes are beyond forgiveness, is it truly worth it? He may have been kind when you were children, but he has changed. Yes, Empress, he is no longer the boy he once was. The cultivators call out together, urging Lyra to stand down, but every word they say only makes Lyra more certain. This life was given to me by Kai. Dying to save him today is only right. At that moment, the Sword Empress summons her own life-bound treasure. Varen panics. He never expected Lyra to turn. If two sovereign emperors clash here, everything will be destroyed. Lyra, stand down. You cannot win. The one who speaks is none other than the Empress Consort, Lu Qingcheng. The other 7 empresses hold back. But they all know, the Sword Empress and the Empress Consort together are more than enough. And they refuse to gang up on a single person. They join forces to stabilize the space instead. Otherwise this place will be destroyed. Then a thought creeps into Varen's mind. Maybe I should just end Empress Lyra here. But the instant that thought forms, Varen feels something. The gaze of an ancient predator locked onto him. Varen's blood runs cold. Is this a power Kai is projecting from inside the Samsara seal? Or perhaps Kai placed a hidden seal on Lyra, a protection that activates automatically the moment her life is threatened. The more Varen thinks about it, the more certain he becomes. And he is deeply grateful he did not act against Lyra just now. The consequences would have been unthinkable, but Varen has no intention of letting the 3 of them fight on. So he summons a treasure, the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda. Lyra is locked in combat against the Sword Empress and Lu Qingcheng. She never imagined Varen, a sovereign emperor, would stoop this low. Before she can react, she is trapped inside the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda. Was that not lost 10,000 years ago? With the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda, even an empress can be held. Varen, what are you doing? The Sword Empress and Lu Qingcheng both turn to Varen. Neither of them is comfortable with his sneak attack. Varen immediately puts on a righteous air. Both empresses, I had no choice. Rest assured, the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda will not harm Empress Lyra. When this is over, I will personally apologize to her. The cultivators actually believe him. Right. Varen is thinking of the greater good. He only wants to deal with Kai, who threatens everything. They praise Varen's compassion for the world. The Sword Empress watches Varen, her eyes full of contempt. She has some idea of what Varen is really after, because just moments ago, she too felt that terrifying force lock onto her. Inside the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda, Lyra slams the Hecking Disk against the walls over and over, trying to break free. Varen tells everyone to stay calm. The Heaven-Sealing Pagoda is a defensive treasure. Not even Empress Lyra can shatter it immediately. If the Sword Empress attempted it, that would be another matter. But for now, we are safe. The Sword Empress stands with her sword at her back. A sword is the blade of the heart. It can be used to kill and it can be used to protect. My soul sword has never existed only to destroy. The moment those words leave her lips, she pauses, a dull ache spreading through her head. She has heard those words before, somewhere. Then Varen cries out in alarm. Has she lost her mind? Inside the Heaven-Sealing Pagoda, Lyra is burning her own blood essence to assault the walls. The Hecking Disk blazes brighter than ever. Varen is shaken but forces himself to stay composed. Everyone, do not panic. Even so, Empress Lyra cannot break free anytime soon. And even if she does, Kai has not been fully refined yet, but his power will have been weakened below the Sovereign Emperor level. At that point, nothing can stop us. Varen's words ease the tension. In everyone's eyes, the situation is firmly in their favor. All they have to do is wait for Kai to be fully refined. Inside the Samsara seal, I watch everything unfolding outside. Watching Lyra fight desperately to save me, something heavy settles in my chest. Everything from my childhood feels too real to be something I made up, like it truly happened to me. But I cannot dwell on it now. Lyra alone cannot free me. I need more sovereign emperors to turn. My eyes settle on the Sword Empress. Her soul sword is said to carry the most devastating offensive power in existence. You are the one, Sword Empress. I gather every fragment of memory I have about her, shape it carefully, and project it through the Samsara seal. Then I begin to alter it. And yet, I cannot shake the feeling that what I am crafting is not invented at all. It feels like something that truly happened. Then someone cries out, "Look, the Samsara seal has a new vision." The seal's images had briefly gone dark. Everyone assumed the clash between the 3 empresses had disrupted it. Now that the fighting has stopped, the Samsara seal's visions return. Inside, the site where I fought the white-browed sage is now swarming with dozens of powerful cultivators. But they find nothing. Little Lyra is already gone, taken by the Elder, and I have been sent far away. After what feels like an eternity, I finally fall from the sky. But the moment before impact, a gentle soul energy catches me and sets me down safely. I know this is the Elder's last act for me. I force myself upright and look around. I have only one thought: cold. The world around me is frozen, and the cold is savage. If my nascent soul and chi were intact, I would not feel it. But now I am nothing more than a broken shell. Still, I hold no resentment toward the elder. When I fought the white-browed sage in the sky, I had already moved far from the village. If the elder had not sent me away at random, and I had fallen into the hands of powerful cultivators, things would have been far worse. From here on, I am on my own. I push forward through the snow step by step. I need to figure out where I am. This is a small, nearly deserted town. Even in thin clothing, I am barely holding on. The few people who pass by either ignore me or step around me. My body has already hit its limit. Add to that the blinding snowstorm clouding my senses, and my body finally gives out. I collapse into the snow. Back in the Alliance, voices begin to murmur. Kai is in terrible shape. He looks like a broken wreck now. Even if someone passes by, they will just walk around him. I lie in the snow for a full day and night. No one comes, but the snow finally stops. And then, a plainly dressed girl in a snow cap is walking by, blowing warm breath onto her cold hands. She passes right by the spot and notices the boy collapsed in the snow. She hesitates, then crouches down and shakes him. Hey, wake up, wake up! Varen watches and scoffs. If this girl saves Kai, she will be remembered as a traitor to the world. The girl shakes him a few more times. He is frozen stiff, and she seems to realize he is a cultivator. The girl wavers, then stands and starts to leave. Her mind tells her to mind her own business, but she cannot fully commit. 2 steps forward, then she looks back. 2 more steps, then she looks back again. She is kind at heart. Then she hears the boy murmur, Lyra, father, mother, inside the heaven-sealing pagoda. Lyra, hearing that the brother barely clinging to life is still thinking of her even now, drives the hecking disc harder. She has to get out. She has to save him. Hearing that murmur, the girl finally stops. Someone who thinks of his family like that, he cannot be a bad person. In the end, the girl hoists the boy onto her back and carries him home with great effort. A long time later, she finally gets him there. The Alliance cultivators are surprised. They had sensed a faint hint of spiritual energy on her. She seemed like a cultivator, but her home is bare and run down. Just when everyone expects her to use fire to thaw him out, the girl instead brings in a handful of snow from the yard and rubs it along the boy's arm over and over. The Alliance is baffled. He is frozen solid. Why use snow instead of fire? Why rub him with snow at all? Then the Sword Empress's cool voice cuts through. When someone is fully frozen, heat is dangerous. Fire or hot water will rupture the blood vessels. You restore circulation by rubbing with snow. The crowd finally understands. Of course. Everyone immediately turns to praise the Sword Empress, but she only says quietly, I grew up in a place of bitter cold. I know a little about this. The moment she finishes, a strange feeling takes hold of her. Something about this girl feels oddly familiar. After the girl has rubbed his arms for a long while, circulation is slowly returning, but it is still treating the symptom, not the cause. At this rate, his heart will stop. The girl hesitates, then her cheeks flush red. She gently opens his shirt, preparing to rub his chest directly. That would be the most effective. This is my first time doing something like this for a man. You absolutely cannot die, she mutters to herself. But the moment she opens his shirt, she freezes. His chest is covered in brutal wounds, some old, some still weeping blood. Most shocking of all is the area of his core. It looks as if it has been carved hollow by force. Nothing remains but a void, and his breath is barely a candle flame in the wind. She has never seen anyone this broken and still alive. Without thinking, she reaches out and brushes the deepest wound. The moment her fingertip makes contact, the boy convulses in a violent cough. Black blood surges from his mouth and stains the white hem of her clothing. The girl flinches, but does not retreat. She uses every last bit of her strength to drag the boy onto the bed, then runs back to the yard to search for herbs. Her grandfather once told her, snow lotus herb from the frozen north can keep a dying person alive. Outside the Samsara seal, everyone watches intently. Varen sneers. Some people just refuse to die, lucky enough to find someone foolish enough to help, but the Sword Empress steps forward sharply, her gaze locked onto the girl's face. The girl wears a snow cap, her features young and soft, but those eyes, that expression, the unconscious way she bites her lip, all of it is beginning to overlap with a faint shadow buried in her memory. Her breath quickens. Fragments of something long forgotten flash through her mind. In a world of ice and snow, a young man carries her on his back, trudging through the storm. She slumps against his shoulder, her voice barely a whisper. Kai, I'm cold. He pulls her closer, his voice steady and firm. Trust me, we're going to make it out. And just then, the Samsara seal shifts again. The vision accelerates. Every day the girl climbs the mountain to gather herbs. She cleans his wounds with steady hands and spoons him the snow lotus herb broth she brews each morning. Kai drifts in and out of consciousness. Every time he wakes, his first words are always the same. Lyra, where is she? The girl soothes him gently. You're going to be okay. When you're better, I'll help you find her. He stares at her, his gaze distant and dazed. Then he grabs her hand. It was always you. Her face flushes red. She pulls her hand back quickly. My name is Snow. He goes quiet for a moment, then says softly, thank you. Days pass, one after another. The cuts on his body slowly begin to heal, but his chi remains hollow, his breath faint. He tries to run his cultivation technique, but he cannot gather even a thread of spiritual energy. Every attempt ends with him coughing up blood. Snow can't bear to watch. She presses her hand over his. Stop. Your chi-si is destroyed. Kai's eyes dim for a moment, but he doesn't despair. He turns to gaze out at the vast snowfield beyond the window, then suddenly asks, "Is there a sword here?" Snow blinks. "Only a woodcutting blade." "That works." Snow finds a rusted old chopper. Kai takes it, and though his body is frail, the grip is unshakable as stone. He walks into the courtyard and raises the blade slowly against the wind and snow. No spiritual energy, no sword intent, only the most basic, honest strike. But the moment the blade falls outside the Samsara seal, the Sword Empress staggers. She knows that strike. It is the opening move of the Sword Clan's foundational technique, the first frost strike. Only someone who has spent more than 10 years meditating on wind and snow and extreme cold can produce such pure, bone-deep chill. In the vision, Kai swings the blade every single day. From dawn to dusk, snow piles on his shoulders. He seems tireless. Even when he coughs blood, even when he falls, he gets up and keeps going. Snow watches from the side. Worry turns to silence. Silence turns to red-rimmed eyes. Without a word, she quietly cooks an extra portion, scraping every last bit of meat into his bowl. Then one night, he suddenly burns with fever. His whole body blazes with heat. He mutters in delirium, "Lyra, run! Mom, Dad! The palace of Yama! I have to find the truth." Snow wipes him down with cold snow water to bring the fever down. She keeps watch through the entire night. When dawn breaks, the fever finally breaks, but he sinks into a deeper unconsciousness. Snow clenches her jaw, hoists him onto her back, and trudges step by unsteady step toward the deep snowfields. She remembers what her grandfather once told her. At the peak of the snow mountain, there lies the 1,000-year ice soul, capable of restoring broken meridians. But the peak is guarded by snow demons. Any ordinary person who approaches will die, but she is not ordinary. She carries the bloodline of the Sword Clan, scattered and lost, though she doesn't know it yet. Outside the Samsil seal, the Sword Empress's nails dig into her palm. It's all coming back. She was born in the southern region. Her clan sent her into exile in the frozen north to forge her sword heart, and it was during that exile that she saved Kai. Later, when she finally returned home to her clan in the south, she found them under siege. Hunted by enemies, she fled back into the northern snowfields, and it was a young man who lifted her onto his back and carried her through the blizzard. He hid her in a mountain cave and drew the pursuers away himself. And it was that terrible night that stole the Sword Empress's memories. She always thought it was a dream, a hallucination at the edge of death, but it was real. It was you all along. In the vision, Snow reaches the peak. The 1,000-year ice soul hovers at the center of the ice cave, glowing with a faint, ghostly blue light. A three-eyed snow demon lunges from the shadows, razor claws aimed straight at Snow's throat. She has no martial training, but instinct throws her sideways. Her hand dips into her robe and pulls out a jade pendant. She has worn it since childhood, never knowing what it was for. The moment the pendant touches the demon, it erupts in blinding sword light. The demon shrieks and is split clean in two. Snow freezes. She looks down at the pendant. Two words have appeared on its surface: Sword Heart. There's no time to think. She takes the ice soul and rushes back down the mountain. She presses it against his chi-si. Blue light seeps in. The deathly pallor on his face slowly warms with the faintest color. When he opens his eyes, the first thing he sees is Snow's lips, blue with cold, and the frostbite crack splitting her hands open. Guilt rises in his chest. His voice comes out raw and hoarse. "Why would you risk your life like that for me?" Snow gives a small smile. "You promised me you'd go find Lyra. You can't die." He is quiet for a long time. Then slowly, he reaches out and wipes the dried blood from her face. "When I recover, I'll teach you the sword." Snow's eyes light up. "Really?" Time flies. 3 years pass. He still cannot gather spiritual energy, but his blade work grows sharper and fiercer by the day. He can carve sword intent into the snow itself. Snow learns alongside him, progressing at a staggering pace. She doesn't know that what she's learning is the frozen sky sword intent, the very technique she will one day create as founder of the Sword Clan. One day, a group of black-robed cultivators storms into the town. They move with purpose, compass in hand, and stop directly in front of Snow's door. The one in front sneers. So the last remnant of the Sword Clan was hiding here all along. Snow goes pale with fear. Kai steps in front of her, gripping the old blade. The black-robed cultivator scoffs. "You, a broken wretch with no cultivation, and you dare stand in our way?" Kai says nothing. He simply swings. The blade flashes across the lead cultivator's neck. The head hits the snow. The others freeze, then charge as one. Kai's blade becomes a storm. Every step lands precisely in the hollows of the snow, using the terrain to propel himself. A mortal body cutting down 7 foundation-building cultivators in a single sweep. He turns back to Snow. "Go. They won't stop coming." Snow shakes her head. "Wherever you go, I go." Her eyes are steady and resolute. "You saved me before. Now it's my turn to save you." She grabs his hand and runs toward the heart of the snowfield. Deep in the mountains, there is an ancient transport formation. Her grandfather told her on his deathbed, "If you are ever in great danger, activate it. But where it leads, no one knows. Live or die, heaven decides." The two of them step into the formation. Light swallows them whole. Outside the Samsara seal, the Sword Empress is already in tears. It's all coming back to her. Every last piece. The girl named Snow. That girl was her, in her youth. And Kai, the young man who carried her through the blizzard, who taught her the sword, who cut down those who hunted her. He was Kai. She turns back back to the Samsara seal, shaking. Her voice breaks. It was always you. Varen senses trouble. He shouts, sharp and cutting. Sword Empress, do not be deceived by illusions. Those are false memories planted by the Samsara seal. The Sword Empress snaps around. Her eyes blaze like cold fire. False? Then explain the scar on my chest. Explain why I can use the frozen sky sword intent. Explain why every time I see him, my heart breaks. She reaches up and tears open her robe. Above her left breast, an old scar stands exposed, unmistakable, left by those who hunted her down, a wound that should have been fatal, but someone sealed her vital meridian with sword energy and saved her life. She never knew who. Now she does. Varen opens his mouth again, but the Sword Empress has already drawn her blade. The tip points straight at the heaven-sealing pagoda. Release her. Varen's face goes ashen. Sword Empress, are you turning against us too? The Sword Empress speaks, each word deliberate and cold. If all of this is real, if every moment is true, then I owe him far more than just my life. The Empress Consort Celeste moves to block her. She steps in front of the Sword Empress. Easy, calm down. The Sword Empress laughs. A broken, bitter sound. If he truly is that man, then what I've been doing, attacking him, makes me no different from a traitor. Celeste frowns and turns back to the Samsara seal. The vision continues. The ancient formation drops Kai and Snow into a barren, forgotten realm. Spiritual energy is nearly non-existent here. Demon beasts roam freely. Kai still cannot cultivate, but he relies on the residual perception of his twin pupils and a blade work hardened through years of relentless training. Together, they carve a bloody path through the realm. In one battle, Snow throws herself in front of Kai, and a demon beast's venomous claws tear straight through her shoulder. The venom ravages her body. She teeters on the edge of death. Kai carries her across 1,000 miles and tracks down a purgative holy herb, guarded by a golden core demon beast. He fights it for 3 days with nothing but a mortal body, and finally takes its head, but he is left shattered and barely alive. He feeds the herb to Snow, then collapses into a pool of his own blood, fading fast. Snow wakes. She throws herself to his side, shaking him, sobbing. Don't die on me. You said you'd make me the greatest sword immortal alive. Kai forces his eyes open. He raises a trembling hand and wipes her tears. I'm sorry. I broke my promise. Snow desperately pours her spiritual energy into him, but her cultivation is too shallow. The energy vanishes like stones into a bottomless lake. She clutches him in despair. I don't want you to die. I don't. Then Kai convulses and coughs up a mouthful of black blood. Threaded through it are flecks of gold. That is the soul force the elder left within his spirit long ago. Now, triggered by the nearness of death, it awakens, merging with the herb's power, and in his chi something stirs. A faint thread of energy coils into being. Kai lives. He still cannot cultivate in the traditional sense, but that single thread lets him reach just barely into his soul force. Using it, he etches formations throughout the realm, calling down heavenly lightning and earth fire to temper his own flesh. Year after year, 3 years, then 3 more. His body becomes something beyond mortal. No cultivation, yet strong enough to shatter mountains with bare fists. Snow's cultivation climbs steadily. Her sword intent begins to take shape. Side by side they push deeper into the realm, slaying demon beasts, uncovering ruins, growing closer with every passing day. Then one day, they discover an ancient sword tomb. Inside rests a sword caked in rust, and beside it, a carved inscription. A heart sword needs no edge. The greatest path is the simplest. Snow reaches out and touches it. The blade ignites with light. A torrent of sword energy floods into her body. She drops, unconscious. Kai keeps vigil for 7 days and 7 nights. On the 7th day, Snow opens her eyes. Her gaze is cold and sharp with sword intent. Her cultivation has surged beyond reason. She looks at Kai, her expression unreadable. The sword has chosen me. It says I am the last bloodline of the Sword Clan. Kai gives a quiet, steady nod. Then you should go back. Snow grabs his hand. Come with me. He shakes his head. I have unfinished business. What business? Vengeance. Finding Lyra. Destroying the palace of Yama. Snow sets her jaw. I can help. No. Your path belongs to the Sword Clan. Don't let me hold you back. Snow wraps her arms around him from behind, her voice breaking. I don't want to let you go. His body tenses for just a moment. He gently holds her hands, then releases them, and he walks away. He leaves Snow alone in the tomb. She holds the ancient sword. Tears fall like rain. Outside the Samsara seal, the Sword Empress is weeping without sound. She finally understands why every corner of the Sovereign Emperor's palace feels so familiar, why she always instinctively avoids certain traps, why in the dead of night, she always dreams of a silhouette walking away from her and into the storm. She raises her hand. The star-piercing sword blazes with moon-felling sword intent. A column of sword energy tears into the sky and crashes into the heaven-sealing pagoda. Break! Varen roars. He moves to stop her, but the other 7 empresses don't move. Not one. They watch the vision in the Samsara seal, each with a different expression, but all with doubt in their eyes. The Empress Consort Celeste lets out a quiet sigh and steps back. I'm done with this fight. The rest follow, one by one. They are all remembering the moments they shared with Kai, those small acts of warmth they had once dismissed as manipulation, now surfacing piece by piece as something unmistakably real. The Sword Empress brings her blade down. The heaven-sealing pagoda shudders violently. Cracks split the tower. Lyra bursts out from within, the hecking disc blazing with light. She stands shoulder to shoulder with the Sword Empress. You're all going to rebel? Varen snarls, his face twisted with rage. Lyra's voice is ice cold. You're the one who rebelled. You're the real traitor, a remnant of the palace of Yama. Varen's pupils shrink. Lies. The Sword Empress levels her blade at him. The hunters who came for me years ago, you sent them. You feared an alliance between the Sword Clan and Kai, because it threatened your grip on the righteous alliance. Before he can respond, Lyra and the Sword Empress drive their combined strike into the Samsara seal. It barely trembles. Varen breaks into laughter. And, what does it matter? 2 of the 9 empresses are already gone. The remaining 7 are still recovering from their wounds. Kai is dying inside the seal. What exactly do you think you can do? Behind him, dozens of righteous alliance cultivators step forward, blades drawn, killing intent radiating off them in waves. And then, the Samsara seal convulses. The vision inside shatters. A figure steps out, slowly, from within the seal. White robes soaked in blood, dark hair loose and wild. But his eyes, bright as stars, left eye, twin pupils, right eye ordinary, yet carrying the weight of 10,000 ages. He looks at Lyra, a quiet smile. Lyra, I'm back. Then to the Sword Empress. Snow, sorry to keep you waiting. Then he turns to Varen. His eyes go cold. Current lord of the Palace of Yama, your act is over. Varen stumbles back. How are you possibly free? Kai raises his hand. A faint image of the Samsara seal shimmers in his palm. The seal refines memories, but I have long since refined my memories into my true self. The one inside the seal was my past. The one standing here is the present. He takes one step forward. His power surges. From mortal, through chi condensation, foundation building, golden core, nascent soul, spirit transformation, Tao integration, tribulation crossing, grand completion, true immortal, immortal sovereign, quasi-immortal emperor, and finally, the peak of sovereign emperor. His divine pressure blankets heaven and earth. Every living being drops to their knees. Varen turns white and spins to run. Kai points into the void. Varen screams. His body collapses. His soul is seized. Kai crushes it, and from within he pulls a strand of black, cursed energy. The Yama seal. Mark of the palace's lord. You wiped out my village. You slaughtered my town. You hunted Lyra. You drove a wedge between me and my brothers. Every last act. The Palace of Yama. His voice is absolute zero. Today, in the name of the sovereign emperor, I sentence you. Your soul shall be scattered to dust, never to be reborn. The black cursed energy shrieks and dissolves. The sky and earth are clear. Kai turns to face the 9 empresses. He looks at each of them in turn. Lyra is in tears. The Sword Empress holds back her own. Celeste bows her head in silence. The rest wear shame like a second skin. Kai exhales softly. Everything that happened, it happened for a reason. I don't blame any of you. Lyra throws herself into his arms. Kai, I'm sorry. He strokes her hair. You will always be my Lyra. The Sword Empress steps forward and takes his hand. This time, I won't let you face it alone. He nods and turns to face everyone. His voice rings through all of heaven and earth. From this day forward, I reclaim my throne as sovereign emperor. I will bring order to the 3 realms and purge every last remnant of the Palace of Yama. Peace will be restored across the land. If anyone objects, step forward. No one does. Every living being bows. Kai takes Lyra's hand and the Sword Empress's hand and walks toward the sovereign emperor's palace. The great gates open wide. Celestial music fills the air. He glances back at the Samsara seal. The vision inside has frozen on that final moment. The young man in snow saying goodbye. He speaks softly. The suffering of the past has become the steps beneath our feet. The road ahead, we walk it together. The Samsara seal does not fade. Kai presses his hand against it and looks at each of them. Every doubt that still lingers in your hearts. Today, let the Samsara seal be your mirror. See the truth. Light blooms within the seal, and the visions shift. No longer the falsified past, but the hidden side of it. 1,000 years ago, deep within the sacred grounds of the Hecking sect, Lyra is in closed cultivation, pushing toward the sovereign emperor realm. The Hecking disc above her head begins to convulse. The remnant soul of the soul demon lord sealed within seizes the moment and strikes back. Dark energy floods into her twin pupils. If her twin pupils are fully corrupted, she will become the demon lord's puppet. At that critical moment, Kai tears through the void and arrives. He felt Lyra in danger and came without hesitation, his own heavenly tribulation looming. Using the earth vein as a conduit, he performs the pupil transfer technique, not to steal her twin pupils, but to temporarily graft the demon soul and the pupil's core into his own right eye, using his emperor's soul as a prison to suppress it. The pain is beyond description. Blood pours from his right eye, but his hands move gently as feathers. He is terrified of harming so much as a thread of Lyra's soul. When the transfer is complete, Lyra falls unconscious. Her twin pupils enter dormancy. Kai entrusts her to the guardian elders of the Hecking sect and staggers away. His right eye, now tainted with demonic energy. From that day on, he fights with his right eye closed. The world takes it for arrogance. Meanwhile, Varen has long been embedded within the Hecking sect. Before Lyra can wake, he uses the illusion mirror to rewrite her memories. The mirror shows Kai grinning as he gouges out her eye, his voice warped into something monstrous as he laughs. This pupil belongs to me. When Lyra wakes, her right eye socket is hollow and screaming with pain. The false image has not faded. She reaches up and touches the empty socket. Hatred consumes her. Now, the truth surfaces. Lyra reaches up with trembling fingers and touches her right eye. Golden light pulses in the twin pupils. She finally understands. The pupil never left. It was simply corrupted, and Kai used his own eyes to bear 1,000 years of demonic torment in her place. Kai's right eye slowly opens. No golden light remains, only a quiet, ordinary dark iris. The demonic core has been refined away. The eye has been cleaned for a long time. The Samsara seal shifts to the ancient battlefield of the god burial abyss. Zane and Kai Kai are exploring together when they are ambushed by the Bone Emperor, Guardian of the Abyss. Zane throws himself in front of Kai and takes the full force of the strike with his Supreme Bone. The Supreme Bone shatters instantly. 360 fragments. Shards pierce his vital meridians. He teeters on the edge of death. Kai burns half his blood essence and lays down the time reversal formation, rewinding Zane's injuries to the moment just before the bone shattered. But the Supreme Bone is already gone. If every shard is not removed, he will be dead within 3 days. Kai opens Zane's chest with the celestial hand technique, not to carve but to work like a seamstress threading a needle, peeling away each of the 360 fragments one by one. With every piece removed, he fills the gap with his own chaos marrow, ensuring Zane's power remains intact. He seals all the fragments inside the Dragon Nurturing Pass, a time-locked realm where they will take 10,000 years to fuse back together. But Varen bribes a servant in Kai's palace, steals the Dragon Nurturing Pass, and fabricates the scene with a mirror stone. When Zane wakes, he finds his chest laid open, his Supreme Bone gone, and Kai's jade pendant left beside him. The pendant plays an illusion, Kai holding the Supreme Bone, smirking as he walks away. Zane looks to the sky and laughs, broken, hollow. Brother, why did you take it? Now the truth is laid bare. Kai calls the Dragon Nurturing Pass out of the void. The 360 fragments have fused, whole again, blazing gold. The Supreme Bone returns to where it belongs. Zane's power surges back in an instant. He drops to his knees, unable to speak through his tears. Brother, I was so wrong. The vision cuts to the Heavenly Sword Peak, the massacre of the Sword Clan. Kai did not slaughter them. It was the Burial Clan, in league with the Palace of Yama, plotting to unseal the Corpse Emperor buried beneath the peak. To do it, they needed a sacrifice from the Sword Clan's direct bloodline. That night, black rain fell. 100,000 Burial Clan warriors descended from the sky. The Sword Clan patriarch fought to his last breath, and with his dying strength, sent a secret message calling for Kai. At that moment, Kai was in the northern border, suppressing a snow demon uprising. He tore through the void the instant he received the message, but arrived half a step too late. The only survivor of the entire clan was the young Snow, hidden inside the sword tomb. Kai took her and fought their way out. 3 quasi-immortal emperors of the Burial Clan closed in for the kill. To protect Snow, Kai pushed his left eye twin pupils past their limit and unleashed the Dark Annihilation Ray. He killed 1, critically wounded 2. But in doing so, he was struck by the Corpse God curse and was forced to retreat and heal. Varen captured the battle with a shadow recording stone, but cut out the first half, the footage of the Burial Clan's massacre. He kept only the footage of Kai swinging his blade, sword energy sweeping across clan members, and fabricated testimonies from 3 Sword Clan survivors naming Kai as the killer. The Sword Empress reaches the end of the truth the Samsara seal has shown her. She draws her blade and slashes the air open. In the tear, the Patriarch's dying will surfaces. His voice a raw whisper. You've finally seen the truth. Snow drops her blade. She walks to Kai. Her fingers brush the old scar beneath his left eye. Was this scar left to protect me? Kai takes her hand in his voice soft. It's all in the past. The light within the Samsara seal dims. Only Varen's voice in secret conversation bleeds through. Empress Consort, are you aware? Your Celeste clan is the White Lotus, the seal suppressing the underworld Blood Sea. Kai is cultivating a demonic technique, colluding with the master of the Blood Sea. In 3 years, the Blood Sea will break free. Your entire clan will be consumed as sacrifice. Celeste's voice cracks with fury. Lies. Kai would never. Varen gives a cold laugh, then uses a trace of Kai's blood essence to forge an illusion, showing Kai at the underworld boundary, locked in negotiation with the shadow of the Blood Sea's master. There is only one solution, Varen says. Use Kai's Emperor's blood to feed the White Lotus and reseal the Blood Sea. If you can't bring yourself to act, then pretend to betray him. Lure him into the Samsara seal. The seal will extract pure Emperor's blood during the refinement. I'll redirect it into the White Lotus and keep your clan safe. Once it's done, I swear on my life, I will not take his. I'll only strip his cultivation. 2 of you can retire in peace. Celeste struggled for months. In the end, she chose her clan over her heart. She demanded a heaven's oath from Varen, that Kai's life would be spared. Now the truth is out. Celeste has gone pale as ash. Then what was the Blood Sea? Kai sighs quietly. With a wave of his hand, the Samsara seal reveals the true underworld boundary. Kai was not negotiating with the Blood Sea's master. He was using his own body as a prison, sealing the master of the Blood Sea within himself, enduring the agony of being devoured from the inside, day after day. The surges of dark energy when his power seemed unstable. Those were the signs of suppression, not corruption. I never fell to darkness. Kai removes his outer robe. Over his heart, a white lotus seal glows with radiant light. Your clan's White Lotus has been nourished by my blood for 100 years. The Blood Sea's threat was neutralized 3 years ago. Celeste crumbles to the ground, sobbing without sound. I thought I was saving my people. All this time, I was hurting you. Kai gently helps her to her feet. Your intentions, I never blamed them. The Samsara seal flashes rapidly through scene after scene. Every other empress was deceived the same way. The Blossom Empress carried a soul parasite inside her. Varen claimed it was planted by Kai, and that only Kai's death would break it. In truth, Kai had already quietly cured her, hidden beneath Varen's illusions. The Mystic Ice Empress lost control during cultivation and needed the 10,000-year ice core to survive. Varen told her it sat in Kai's treasury, and that Kai refused to hand it over. In truth, Kai had long since refined the ice core into a pill and given it to her. But the illusion made her blind to it. Instead, she saw Kai mocking her for daring to dream. The Flame Empress's clan's sacred flame was dying. It needed Kai's solar true flame to be relit. Varen forged an illusion of Kai refusing, and claimed the only way to claim the solar true flame was through Kai's death. In truth, Kai had already set aside a thread of the solar true flame's core at his retreat, also hidden by the illusion. The Star and Moon Empress was reading the heavens when she received a prophecy. The Emperor Star would fall, and a new Emperor would rise. Varen tampered with the star charts, pointing the falling star at Kai and the rising one at himself. But the true star map told a different story. The Emperor Star does not fall. It shines across all of eternity. The Azure Cloud Empress was obsessed with the sword. Varen offered her a technique he called an Emperor-grade sword art, claiming only a true Emperor's heart could master it, and fabricated scenes of Kai suppressing her, stealing her sword manual. In truth, the technique was a demonic Emperor-grade art. Anyone who cultivated it would fall to darkness. The 5 Empresses finished watching their own truths. They all dropped to their knees, tears streaming. "We were blind to what was right in front of us. We beg for your judgment." But Kai only says slowly and gently what Varen did. He used fear, greed, and love as weapons. The fault does not lie with you. I am the one who failed to see it sooner, failed to protect you. Kai walks to the center of the Samsara seal. His left eye's twin pupils blaze with gold. Let the Samsara seal bear witness and illuminate every truth. In an instant, gold light sweeps across all of heaven and earth. Every falsified memory, every buried truth, rains down on the world as golden light. Every soul who ever doubted Kai sees the truth in this moment. Regret, shame, and reverence surge together like a flood, and Kai's power rises again, shattering the ceiling of Sovereign Emperor, and stepping into the Samsara's sovereign realm. He looks down upon all living things. His voice carries the weight of heaven's law. Effective immediately, the laws of the 3 realms are rewritten. The Heaven Watch Mirror is established. It sees all. Those who seek justice may speak. Those who do evil have nowhere to hide. Peace for 10,000 generations. The 9 Empresses take their rightful places. Every clan bows. The Samsara seal transforms into a towering stele and rises before the celestial palace. The truth is carved into it, an eternal seal against deception and conspiracy. Kai takes Lyra's hand in the Sword Empress's hand and walks toward the palace gates. He looks back one last time, his gaze sweeping across every soul before him. The pain of the past has become our foundation. The road ahead, we walk it together.